Siku ya Thursday ikiwa ni saa 3:09 saa zetu za Afrika Mashariki. Tarehe 13 mwezi wa Januari 2022 ndio mwaka. Bado tunasema happy new year. Nilikuwa nimekuambia kwamba tumekuwa na a lot of requests kutoka kwa wasikilizaji na watazamaji hapa ndani ya Bodaboda Radio wakisema jamani, kila campaign tunaona girl child. Kila campaign girl child. Tukienda left, right and center, msichana tu amepewa kipaumbele sana. Hata katika katiba ukiangalia sasa girl child, wanawake wamepatiwa nafasi kubwa sana. Katiba sasa imepatiana nafasi katika our constitution 47, in all the 47 county tuko na 47 women representatives. Wanaendelea kupatiwa kipaumbele. Kijana alisaulikia wapi? Kijana mvulana alisaulikia wapi? Ndio sababu leo tumeleta mgeni anaitwa Rosemary Muthoni hapa ndani ya studio za Bodaboda Radio aweze kuzungumzia, manake ni moja ya wale wanaharakati ambao wanasukuma kabisa sauti ya kijana mwanamume iweze kusikika, na tayari ameshajaja hapa ndani ya studio. Karibu sana Rosemary.
Nashukuru sana, asante sana.
Mambo iko namna gani?
Si tuko poa. And tuko honored sana kuwa hapa. Na venye umesema any opportunity yenye boy child anapata
ndio
ni opportunity ya nguvu.
Ndio.
Kwa sababu all over the world, hata sio Kenya peke yake, all over the world the focus is on girls and women.
Ndio.
And it is very sad because we live in an ecosystem. We need each other.
Ndio.
So we cannot afford to leave anyone behind. Tupende tusipende.
Pende tusipende.
We cannot afford.
Ndio.
It will be a crisis for all of us.
Ndio.
Exactly.
Kabla tujaenda mbali sana, pengine watu wangependa kujua Rosemary ni nani? Manake pengine watu wakiangalia wanasema Rosemary, watu wanataka kujua Rosemary ni nani? Na anajihusisha na mambo gani katika society? Pengine wasikilizaji wetu, watazamaji wakiangalia wakifahamu hiyo, then tuendelee.
Okay. Majina.
Ndio, majina.
Naitwa Rosemary Muthoni Kinuthia.
Ndio.
I'm a mother of 2.
Ndio.
Na kazi yangu majorly, bigger percentage,
ndio,
is to advocate for the plight of the boy child and men in general.
Ndio.
Most of the time nimelewa Eastlands. Na nimesomea Eastlands.
Ndio.
So probably 70% of my time I've spent with my father. So tulikuwa tumezoeana sana. So at some point we became friends. And he used to be my confidant and stuff like that. So 2016 he passed on.
Sorry.
And 2016 in March is when we buried him. And that particular moment akiteremka kwa shimo, I realized there is a lot that we used to talk about.
Sure.
Issues of men, the problems of men, and all those things. His friends. And that minute I decided I'm going to drop everything I was doing and start a foundation to focus on men.
On men.
So God's blessings, by December 2016 it was registered. And initially ilikuwa inaitwa Men's Castle Kenya, to focus on issues of men. But then later on, as I indulged and I talked to boys, I realized when you take care of the boy child, the man will emerge. So I needed to refocus. I take care of the roots, which is the boy child. So 2017, 2018, we tukabadilisha, ikaitwa African Boy Child Network from Men's Castle Kenya. So that is what I've been doing for the last 4 years. I love it. It's my passion. I sleep, I drink, I eat boy child. Kila kitu yangu
ni boy child.
Because there is kuna unfairness. There are a lot of things that are unfair.
Ndio.
And what I say is that we are coming from a place where in many decades ago, many years ago, where our grandfathers discriminated girls and women. And it was really bad. But I always say it is not my fault, or it is not my son's fault that his great grandfathers discriminated girls and women, that he should be sacrificed in the process. Your son does not know what patriarchal society is. My son does not know. Why are you sacrificing him? Why are you denying him opportunity because he's a man? Because they've had it. What does he have? I mean, that is what I do. And that's what I live for.
Thank you very much. Na hiyo ni nzuri sana, kwa sababu ni muhimu kujua because Mudhoni, speaking the truth ni kwamba ukiangalia the society we are living in today, a bigger focus na tusemi, because wanasema kwamba women were actually marginalized for a very longer period of time, lakini that one did not mean ya kwamba as we actually focus on empowering women and raising the standard, wafike mahali wanaume wamefika, you do it to the extreme by discriminating the boy child. But ukiangalia the society we are living in today, imekuwa kama sauti ya mtoto mvulana inaendelea ikididimia, na wengi wao wanaendelea kuingia na depression. Actually you find so many boys wamefika mahali wanaingia katika miadarati, wanaingia katika madawa ya kulevya. Wengi wamekuwa desperate and there is nobody speaking about it. Kulikuwa na wakati mmoja na jamaa alikuwa anaitwa, alikuwa chairman ya maendeleo ya wanaume, akafanya yake 9, siku hizi hata tumsikii kabisa. Alichoka. Sijui unapitia changamoto namna gani wakati unasukuma hii maneno ya boy child?
I think ukiwa na passion,
ndio,
it doesn't matter resistance iko wapi. Me, I've been thrown out of boats. I've been thrown out of a talk because I'm talking about the boy child. The fact is, we are all equal before the eyes of God.
Yes.
Now the fact that Nambianga, and this is what I say, the fact that God, the first thing he created a man
ndio
before a woman.
Ndio.
He was not stupid. And it took several days to create a helper for the man. He had a reason. And that reason is that we both need each other to survive. Sawa sawa. So what happens is that we acknowledge.
Correct.
Na mimi nasemanga, na acknowledge. Hizo siku kulikuwa hivyo. You understand? Hizo siku women and girls were marginalized. Hizo siku.
Ndio.
You understand? And now what we are supposed to be doing is to correct that mistake.
Yeah.
We are not supposed to dig a hole to fill in another. And that is exactly what we are doing. Tuna chimba shimo tujaze ingine. Sasa yenye tunachimba ni ya boy child, tunajaze ya girl child. Ao walikuwa wamechimba waeke girl child. You understand? So what we are supposed to do is to make sure that we have equal opportunities for all. That is what we call true gender equality. Because what happens is this. If I give birth to a boy, you understand?
Yeah.
And a girl.
Yeah.
And if my resources are channeled to empower my daughter in expense of my son, then it means something is wrong. And this is what I say. We have a lot of funds. We have a lot of opportunities for women and girls.
Correct.
They might not necessarily be where they want to be, but there is hope and there is good progress.
Correct.
How do we then stop and say, we need to equalize? We need to make sure that we are all equal. We give each person equal opportunities.
Equal opportunities.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
If your tax
is
going to be used to empower a certain gender, what is actually happening is that they're actually robbing you out of your money. And I'll tell you this. In this country, economic empowerment is the ultimate goal. If you're economically empowered, it means you have the ability to think.
Correct.
You understand?
Correct.
Ukikuwa huna job, hakuna kitu kubwa utafanya. You have no say.
Wewe unaamuka unaanza kukula mkokana hapo.
Exactly. You have no say. But what happens, a simple thing in this country, and this is what I would wish that one day we come to realize it is not fair. How many men in this country are above 35 years who cannot even service an LPO of 5,000? Ni wangapi?
Ni wengi.
There are very many.
Very many.
Very many. But in this country, it says that man who is 35 years and above, who cannot service an LPO of 5,000 is not vulnerable, but that woman who can service an LPO of 50 million is vulnerable. This country of ours.
What a discrepancy.
You understand?
Yeah.
So there is a lot of unfairness. If you take time to look at gender policy documents, even the national gender policy document, you take your time. When it starts, it says a lot of gender is about women and men, girls and boys. But you go to the 4th, 5th, 6th, going onwards, you realize the whole thing twists. And it's talking about girls and women. 100%. So it therefore means, and when we look at all those important documents, this country does not work from a vacuum. We work within laws and policies. And if at all the boy child is not captured in those government documents, there is no way we are going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
If I go to the Ministry of Education and they pull up a gender document, gender mainstreaming document in their particular ministry,
Yeah.
if whatever they are implementing is not captured in the national policy document, hata nishinde hapo nikipiga kelele, itakuwa tu na osha kuku mguu.
Itakuwa tu pale pale unaosha nguruwe na inarudi kwa matope.
Exactly. Yeah. Because it's not captured. And in this country, there is nowhere that the boy child or the man is captured in a lot of these gender documents. And it is deliberate. It is by design.
Talking about that gender document, Rosemary, I want just to ask you, some of these social problems that are just in the society, where is actually your main focus? Where you think nikihit hapa? Now we looking from a distance, uangalie sasa wale people that can actually give you the support. You can actually achieve a place ambayo ulikuwa unaenda kama ni 1,000 kilometers, uchukue the shortest route possible. Manake kijana anaumia. That boy child hapo nje anaumia. But there is, it's like we are just okay with it.
What happens is that ile story unaona huku kwa states, kwa my estate, my boys, wamezuba.
Ndio.
It is not that they woke up today waka decide ati wacha tuende kwa tuzubae kwa my estate.
Wacha tuzame huko mtaani.
No. It is something that has been designed. Na nimekuambia sababu iko wapi. When your interests are not captured in any government document, it doesn't matter what you do. You understand? If your interest is not captured in laws in this country, it does not matter what you do.
It doesn't matter even how
you
the kind of noise you make, afanya nini,
exactly.
yote itaishi hapo.
Exactly. And it's very good. And I'm very happy because of the progress we've done.
Yeah.
At least nowadays, I can receive a call. You need to come to this particular radio station. You need to come to this particular TV station. That was not there before. That was not there before. Now the media is actually desperate, looking for people advocating for boys and men because they've realized kuna kashida.
Yeah.
But it starts, a long journey starts with one step. The fact that I'm here and saying we need to redo a lot of these documents, we need to amend a lot of these documents. I'll give you a good example. We have a law, ile penal code.
Yeah.
Inaongea maneno ya rape and defilement and stuff like that.
Correct.
Then it says that the word penetration comes out very, and that I just want to give you this example. The word penetration comes out very loudly. Biologically, the only person who can penetrate a woman is a man. And they are using that word as evidence of rape. You want to tell me you can't get raped by a woman?
You can be raped by a woman. It has happened.
But what does it need? The evidence gani watatafuta to prove the woman raped you? None.
Watatumia tu penetration.
Exactly.
Na hiyo penetration it's only a man who can penetrate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know those funny biased laws. Then the other thing, something came up before. There was something that was people unasema huyu amekudefile or raped you. You understand?
Yeah.
In this country, if you report a case, you cannot retract.
Yeah.
Uwezi atisema
uende useme sasa ile nilisema sio vile.
Yes, kwa sababu nilikuwa nasema what if the people, what they came up, they said a lot of women will fear, or a lot of people will fear to report a case in case it's not proven hiyo kitu iwageukie ikatolewa. But what I'm asking is, what are you more concerned about, the lie or the person who will spend 10 years in jail for a lie? Who should you be concerned about?
Those are very serious matters.
So what I'm saying is this. What we need to capture in this country is get those laws and get those policies, read them, amend where necessary, if we truly want to have gender equality. And if you are not, then it's not going to happen.
Ndani ya Boda Boda Radio, Rosemary Muthoni, ukisikiza anavyotaja mambo mazito ambayo imesababisha that kijana, sio tu kijana, lakini the boy child kuendelea kupata matatizo hapo nje. Hakuna mahali amekuwa affected, ndio matatizo ambayo yanampata. Ndani ya Boda Boda Radio nachukua breki kidogo tu. Narejea na Rosemary Muthoni kuhakikisha kwamba kila kitu kinakwenda shwari hapa, na tuhakikishe ya kwamba sauti ya kijana, na ndio maana tumeleta hapa ndani ya Boda Boda Radio, manake hata wale wengi ambao wanaendesha hizo boda boda ni wanaume. Na hawa ndio bado huwa wanakuwa accused. Ati nilibeba abiria akashuka, karibu anguke, nikienda kumshikilia akapiga nduru, oi, huyu alikuwa anataka kunirape.
Exactly.
Story imegeuzwa. Hako hapa kuhakikisha kwamba sauti yako anaipatia uzito zaidi. Tunarejea baada ya muda usiokuwa mrefu. Bila shaka ni ndani ya Boda Boda Radio, ikiwa imegonga dakika 28 baada ya saa tatu kamili. Pengine kabla sijauliza Rosemary sisi kuendelea, ningependa tu kusoma a few comments hapa ambazo zinatoka kwa wale watazamaji wasikilizaji wetu. Solomon Simon anasema, will I be right to say our original culture is part of the problem if not the root cause? Swali yake tu hapo, lakini Tasha Mukamia pia anasema, good job you are doing, Rose. Eish. Now, what is the difference between gender equality and women's empowerment? How about gender mainstreaming? Maswali hapo tu.
Hiyo ya pili utarudia, lakini wacha nijibu ile ya kwanza ya culture. What has happened, we have tuliachilia culture zetu. Umeunderstand? Kitu kama ukiangalia, people blame our cultures for a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Umeunderstand? But sio kuwa hypocritical sana. Kitambo hakuna venye mimi nikiwa dem naweza endesha lori. Haikuwa inakubalika. Saa hii people congratulate mwenye anaendesha lori.
Wanasema what a man can do,
woman can do better. We've accepted that fact.
Yeah.
But we have not accepted that a man also needs support. A man can cry.
No, there is something here, Rose. Kwamba we have not accepted ya kwamba hata hizi position itengenezwa na katiba, women reps, that a man can also represent women.
You understand? Anything, and I'm not apologizing for this.
Yeah.
Anything positive about women is okay. Anything positive about a man is not okay. If you stood today and say, nataka kusimama women rep.
Na wewe ni mwanaume.
Watasema hapana. But we'll have, you understand?
Yes.
So we are very biased. We are very okay when it works for us as women. But we are not okay when it works for you as a man. Today tukisema aje, tukue na men reps. This country will not be a country because people we are going to resist. But do we have men who are so vulnerable that they need men reps?
Exactly, because now men are even more vulnerable nowadays.
You understand?
Kabisa.
Then the other thing is gender. On the second question, gender primarily, kwa dictionary, it's about men, women, girls, and boys. That is what we call gender. But when you look at our documents, everything, any discussion, be it from private sector, be it from government, when we mention gender, automatically we think about girls and women.
Exactly.
And when we automatically think about girls and women, even when we are drafting government documents, we focus on girls and women because you've mentioned what?
Gender.
You understand? So it therefore means when we mention gender, it is never gender. And I tell people, ukiambiwa maneno ya gender and somebody is trying to stand and to justify when you mention gender is about girls and women and men and sema uongo. That is not true. That is, you'll only be told that because it's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
But in the real sense and the practicality of it, gender means girls and women. So whenever you sit anywhere has a boy child and then word gender is mentioned, just know they want to kick you out or they want to suppress you or they want to discriminate you. And it is a black and white scenario.
Unajua Rose, mimi nimekuwa nikikuangalia na nimekupatia tu jina fulani, an iron lady, because hii ni kazi haina budget. Lakini Rose anaamka asubuhi, boy child, akienda kulala jioni, boy child, ukimwona kwa viwanja na watu wanacheza mpira kule, boy child. Hivi majuzi nilikuona tu ukiwa unangangana sana na umekutana mpaka na PS wa labor, mambo ya boy child. Hii kazi ulijipata namna gani Rose? Umejiingiza kabisa ndani ya kazi yenyewe, na changamoto zile unapitia nazo kwa hii kazi ni kama gani?
I think maneno ya boy child to me is personal. Like I've told you, I've spent a lot of time with my father and my brothers. A lot of time.
Yeah.
And to cap it all, I have a son. And I have a daughter.
Correct.
Sawa sawa.
Yeah.
I do not want to sit somewhere and wait for my daughter to get killed by a frustrated boy. or a depressed boy somewhere.
Because it's very, very common
There's
nowadays.
a very high likelihood.
Mhm.
You understand? A very high likelihood.
Mhm.
But now I want to do something to make sure that my daughter is safe.
Mhm.
That my daughter meets a boy who is stable
Mhm.
physically and mentally.
Mhm.
And I have to participate in that.
Mhm.
I also want to make sure that my son is also mentally and physically stable, that whenever he meets a girl, he's also okay.
Mhm.
I've taken that as a responsibility.
Yeah.
That is one.
Mhm.
Two,
Mhm.
I also acknowledge
Mhm.
that Ndarudia,
Mhm.
this world we cannot live alone.
Mm-mm.
We cannot live alone. And I say this, gender equality stops being gender equality when there is a crisis. If this building, God forbid,
Mhm.
is bombed,
Mhm.
that is where the issue of gender equality stops. Because we'll expect you to shield us.
Mhm. Very true. Nasema wanaume wako wapi?
Wanaume wako wapi? Walikuwa wapi?
Wanaume wako wapi? Wamama wanaweza kupitia hii wanaume wakiwa.
Exactly.
Aha.
So we are being very, very hypocritical.
Mhm.
Very, very hypocritical.
Mhm.
But I've said, wherever kuna shida,
Mhm.
somebody has to stand and do it.
Mhm.
The people who've changed this world
Mhm.
did not change because they had resources, but because they wanted to change and they decided to give their lives to it.
Very true.
You understand?
Very
You
true.
do not have to have resources to change.
Mm-mm.
That one boy or two boys or three boys that I'll meet and change their lives, I've done my part. And as you walk the path, a lot of other things come in. Umeongea maneno ya PS, Marwa. Out of nowhere,
Correct.
I got a call that I've been nominated to be awarded Senior Volunteer of the Year award on issues of boy child. I don't do proposals myself because every single proposal on gender, it's focusing on girls and women. I do not focus on girls and women. So why am I, I'm just cut out. I don't do. But what I have said, I love what I do. I will do what I need to do, even if it means saving one single boy in the entire country. And people out there have seen it and have recognized it. And this is not ending. We are building people and are joining. I'll give you two good examples.
Yeah.
I've attended a discharge board in the prisons. Discharge board is where people come, partners are called in the prison.
Correct.
Who work in the prison. I mean, it can be CSOs or whatever it is. And prisoners are being released within that 1 year.
Yeah.
So they come and tell us what they've learned in prison. Nimefanya masonary, nimefanya najua kunyoa nywele, stuff like that. So one of the probably CSOs anasema, ukitoka, I'll volunteer na kupatia mashini za kunyoa uanze kinyozi. That is what discharge board do. Kama ni mtu wa masonary anakwambia ndakunulia mashini ufanye nini?
Uanze mambo ya kujenga tu.
That is part of reintegration.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something, Ken. And this is the sad scenario. The last discharge board I attended, out of all the male gender that were being released, 99% of them walikujiwa either with a sister or a mother. There was no brother and there was no father. You understand? So regardless of what we do, regardless of how empowered women are, your son will be your problem until you go to your grave. Utabeba yo muzigo. And if at all you don't go to the grave, atakupeleka hapo mbio sana. Because you cannot wish your son away.
And that is the reason why I'm asking Rose. Ukiangalia in the society like today, how have they received you kama Rose advocating for a boy child? And Rose mwenyewe, she's a woman. And another question is, for how many years have you been doing this? Kwa sababu now it's that very serious. How many years? And wanakureceive aje uko nje? Huyu ana represent boy child. For how many years?
It's 4 years. This is the 5th year.
This is the 5th year.
This is the 5th year.
Yeah.
Na ukiangalia a lot of we never get funded. I mean, you're doing boys and men. Do they require support? What are you saying? You understand? And me, I've always said, and this is something that I said to the heavens, I am not going to sacrifice boys and men to get funding. I'm not going to come to you, Ken, nikwambie how you're supposed to treat your wife for me to get funding. I'll come to give me funding to tell Ken how to be a whole, complete person, you are okay, healthy-wise, mentally, so that you are able to discharge your duties the way you're supposed to discharge. You understand the difference? You understand the difference? I'm not going to go to a class and mentor boys in reference to girls. I'm going to mentor boys in reference to themselves, because they are complete human beings.
Very true.
I'm going to look at a boy, ni nini inakusumbua? But I'm not going to look at a boy knowing very well he has mental challenges, and I'm telling him you're not supposed to hit a girl. I need to treat him first so he gets well, so he's able to do whatever he needs to do.
Rosemary, umebatizwa kabisa. Wewe ni damu, ukikatwa hivi ni boy child.
Una understand? The reception has been negative, positive, whichever comes first, I am okay. But what I say is that I'll stand to what I do and to what I believe. I personally believe that a boy is also a child.
A boy is also a child.
A boy is also a child.
Hii issue ya kusema gender, na ukisema tu gender, people are thinking about girls and women. You are fighting kuhakikisha hiyo kitu kwanza ikwishe. When you talk about gender, talk about everybody, because a boy is also a child.
A boy is also a child. They have different unique problems. If you go to Samburu and some places, girl child anaolewa mapema, anapitia FGM. You understand?
Correct.
How many NGOs and whatevers and government are there in those places to make sure girls don't get married or girls don't go through FGM? But how many NGOs have you had have gone to those places to save boy child from cattle hustling? Ni wangapi? How many boys of 12 years, 14 years wanashika binduki bigger than them, wanaenda kuiba ng'ombe? Umesikia ni wangapi wamerescuewa? How many have you had?
And it is not even coming out in our... We are giving a lot of priority, especially when watoto wanafunga shule. Utaiona kwa vyombo vya habari every now and then, utaona mambo ya wasichana ndio inakuwa focus sana. Hizo cattle rustling and whatever, those kind of stories are things that you'll never see.
Go to this
getting
town.
A lot of focus.
Out of every 10 kids kwa street, watu wa 10 years, 12 years, 13, out of every 10, 8 are boys. Ni wapi umesikia wakiongea?
Na hapo ndio tunachukua break nyingine tu. Rosemary amekasirika. Boy child amefinyiliwa to the last man, na anachukuliwa kama si kijana, si kama mtoto. Yani kijana si kama mtoto, msichana amepewa kipaumbele sana. Tukiregea atakuwa anatuambia mvua ilianza kutupigia wapi, Rosemary? Where did the rain start beating us for us to reach at this place where we have these problems? Baada ya muda mfupi tu tunarejea hapa. Bila shaka ni ndani ya boda boda leo, nikiwa na mgeni wangu Rosemary Muthoni, ambaye anafanya kazi safi sana kututetea sisi wanaume. Tumeshindwa kujitetea wenyewe, tunafinyiliwa. Vijana hata watoto wanaume, yani there is no any place they are being remembered. Vijana wanapitia changamoto mingi kibao. Kuna wakati serikali ilisema kwamba 30%, 35% ya government budget will actually be vijana wanaweza kuomba tenda na mambo kama hayo. Sijui kama Rose aliweza kuifuatilia akaona ni wangapi walifaidika kwa hiyo, na kwa wale walifaidika ni wangapi wanaume, vijana wa kiume waliweza kupata hiyo. Hii ni part of the changamoto tunapitia mazee. Rose, tulianza, where did the rain start beating us na tukafikia hii problem that it will take us decades really to readdress it?
I think one is that the minute we agreed to adapt Western style, ndio ilileta shida. Today what we've done is that we've sacrificed what we valued most.
Okay.
We've sacrificed our way of thinking. We've sacrificed the way we do things, and the way we ought to do things, the way we've always done our things. If you look back in our African culture, there was a lot of respect. There was a lot of respect. And your responsibility as a man was cut out. You understand? So what, from where I think is that what you would have done is that what was good for us and what needed to be improved. What needed to improve was maneno ya discrimination and suppression. That needed to be improved. Because for me, from where I stand, I am equally human the way you are. We are different, but we need support in different ways.
Correct.
So what happens is that we've adapted a lot of things that come from outside.
Yeah.
For instance, I'll give you an example. Is that just people might be kind of thinking I'm biased, but I'll tell you something. We were brought the Bible by the missionaries. We had our own God.
Yeah.
You understand?
Correct.
And our great parents believed in their God.
Yeah.
And those guys were true believers. You understand?
Walizama kabisa.
Kabisa waliamini. Then somebody decided, they came and brought us the Bible. What did we do?
We decided to leave whatever that we are doing, and we decided to follow this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That Bible, a good example, is against polygamy.
Correct.
You understand?
Nasema kana moja.
We've adapted kana moja.
Yeah.
The same Bible, the people who brought are comfortable with you marrying another man. Because it is what? It is acceptable there. Now, hapa, we've accepted that. You understand? I can marry my sister. But I cannot be second or third or fourth wife.
Wanakataa hiyo. Yani, they become masters of double speak.
You understand?
Yeah.
Today, I will not mind, or you not mind your wife working. Sawa sawa. But what is the possibility of you not working and your wife is working and supports you unconditionally like you supported her for the last 20 years?
We're actually having that debate before you came, that when it stand vice versa, that now it's the woman earning more.
A lot of women will tell her, what the hell are you doing with a man who's not working in the house? How many men will tell you, what the hell are you doing with a woman who is not working? Probably none. You understand? So if it works, so we've adapted a culture that is double standard. We do not sit and, analyze situations. Tunafuata tu. Right now, the people who are so engraved in gender issues, in whatever, all those European countries have a problem. One of the problem is child alienation, where a father has no access to his children because wamekosana na bibi yake. We have that big problem even in the US. We have fatherless generation. A lot of kids who are actually in crime in those countries that we are running after are children from fatherless families. In this country of ours, just do a survey of how many single women we have, single mothers we have. How many children are fatherless in this country?
Wanauliza baba yao kwa wapi? Anaambiwa wewe
alikufa.
Baba yako alikufa wewe. Na usijaribu wahi kuuliza hiyo swali tena.
You understand? That is a generation that is out there who has no clue who their father is. That is where we even have children, boys who are behaving like girls. Because in that house, they have no role models. One of the big problems we have right now, we have no role models for our boys. But the question would be, who are those role models tumewatengenezea? They are nowhere. They are nowhere. And do not for a second even blame the men for not being role models.
Yeah.
If I do not invest anything in you, Ken, I should not expect anything from you.
Correct.
It is a black and white.
Yeah. It is just like that.
If you do not invest anything, if we do not empower our men to be the men they ought to be, don't expect much from them.
That is very true.
How many young men right now have babies of 10 years, 5 years who have no jobs because the system is discriminating them? How do you expect that young man to be a role model for anyone?
Rosemary, and somebody is here, Simon anasema, truth is that we men are even more emotional and sensitive than women. But if I said this amongst other men, I'll be called mumama wewe. What's to do? This is Solomon Simon saying. And Tasha Mukamia anasema, too many problems and issues. Question is, who has the power to change this? And I'll add before you answer, all these things that you are doing, Rose, government, have you had any input of government coming in and really saying, are you doing a good job? What you are doing is really a problem. It's a time bomb. We're actually sitting on a time bomb. Maybe in another few years to come, we'll have it as a serious problem. And now waione mbali, wai focus then they say, we are actually bringing this one on board so that we can help you and address this problem. Is there anything the government is doing or the government has done so far really to address the problem that you're facing?
What the government has done is talk. Roadside talks. Makoha for two times ameongea maneno ya performance ya boy child in school. We need to put more effort. Matters boy child in school when it comes to education. What has been done? Nothing. When I remember when the CS was doing interviews, I think 10 years ago, CS. During her interview, I remember very well, and even when the Twitter came out, she mentioned about the plight of the boy child. The question is, what has been done? National Gender and Equity Commission 2016 did a report on the crisis of the boy child. And this is something that I will not, and I always say, I will say what I need to say. They did a report in 2016 about the crisis of the boy child. And on the title of that report was Perception. In that book, 92%, I didn't do the report, 92% of Kenyans felt the boy child was lagging behind. They gave recommendation to both the county and the national government. What has been done? And I'll tell you, the fact that nothing has been done is because the boy child and men is not captured in the policy document. It doesn't matter the kind of recommendation you do. If at all the reference point does not include you, it will not do anything. You understand? So it does not matter. Reports are there. Look at Kenya National Commission of Human Rights. They've done reports during 2007 election. A lot of men were being shot at their in their private parts.
Serious.
Unakaa unaona mwanaume unamshoot in his private. You know that is sexual. Have you ever heard about that report? Have you ever had people discuss it?
No.
It is there kwa shelf. And you know why people don't? Because people don't. The minute you start talking about boys and men, you are anti-women and girls. That is how it has been branded. I've gone to government offices. Mwanaume ananiambia, hapo ukileta hii concept yako, I can lose my job. People are afraid of losing their jobs when they speak out about boys and men. Because it is not trendy. It is not what is happening. You understand? Sure. And that is why unaona at a government, it will talk, it will say something, but it's not going to be implemented. Because people are feeling, if I advocate for the boy child, I'm actually going against girls and women, which is not actually true. I've been in this space for the last 4 years. I've never had a concrete discussion with the Ministry of Gender, State Department of Gender. And a lot of us haven't.
And Why? They know very well everything you're doing, it's actually out there on social media and everything, but they cannot. They've just chosen to be agents of fighting anything that it's actually being done. There is a problem, social problem, that will actually happen in this country in another 10 or so years.
What I've said, Ken, and this is, and I'm happy I'm here. What I've said, I am not going to sacrifice boys and men for me to fit in anywhere.
No,
I will not. Some time back, there was what we call youth policy document. There was a clause in that particular document during validation where it had said that, you know, the way you categorize youth, blah, blah, it was these years to this year. Then there was a category of special youth. Youth living with disability, which is perfect. Youth living with HIV, which is still okay. You know, all those things. Then they had put female youth. How do you do a youth development policy and you say female youth are special youth? What are you trying to say? How is my daughter more important than my son?
Those are the problems that I think
we brought that one up. And they then removed that and whatever it is that they did. So what I'm trying to say is this: it does not matter whether we are going 1,000 miles. As long as I take a step and I look back and I say I know I've done something positive, I'll still push on.
Thank you very much, Rose Muthoni. Time ndio fupi. Time haikuagi on our side, but we want to reinvite you again to come back and to talk about matter boy child kabisa, tuzame ndani, to address mpaka tupate the way forward.
niseme tu kitu moja 1 minute.
Yeah.
And this is about boda boda. Because this is a boda boda radio.
Yes.
And I know a lot of
looking at that camera because it's your camera, so they can see you properly.
Okay. Majority of boda boda riders are men. You go through harassment. You are murdered, you are framed. There was a case that tuliitwa pale Kamukunji. A young man amebeba a lady akampeleka pale Koja. That young man alikaa Kamukunji police station for several days, 2 or 3 or 4 days. Kwa sababu the lady he had carried disappear. Do you know it took the intervention of that OCS some time back kuangalia security cameras, this is a street, and they realized the guy dropped the lady na akarudi bus station base yake. That is the only thing that saved that young man, otherwise angekuwa jela leo. I want to plead to all boda boda riders, the men, you need to stand, you need to protect your brothers, you need to stand with them. Do not stand and watch your fellow boda boda rider being harassed or framed by anyone.
Yeah.
Ukiona kichwa cha mwenzao kinanyolewa, tia chako maji. Tomorrow is you.
I think hapo ndio tutaweka kikomo, na asante sana Rose kwa sababu ya always being there. Tuhakikisha ya kwamba mtu wa boda ama mwanaume yote pale nje sauti yake imefika mbali, na ile kufinyiliwa, tunafinyiliwa. Watu wamekuwa framed. Kuna jamaa tutakuwa naye hapa anaitwa Mariano Simba, atatupatia story. He was framed na akawekewa leo maneno tu. Finally ya jamaa alienda jela. Amekaa jela, ametoka tu hivi maajuzi, na sasa ana share story yake. That is the reason why tulikuwa tumeleta Rose, na kwa sababu hatujakuwa na muda wa kutosha, bado tutamuinvite siku nyingine. Kwa sasa tutakuwa tunachukua breaki ndipo tuweze kumaliza na mwenzangu, na asante sana kwa wote ambao wameweza kutuwatch kutoka masaa za saa 12 asubuhi hadi sasa, ikiwa imesalia dakika 2 iweze kugonga saa 4 kamili. Nashukuru kwa sababu ya wote ambao wametusikiliza, wote ambao wameandika, watu wameandika comments, wamesema yote 9 10. Nashukuru kwa wote ambao waliungana pamoja nami, Chairman Ken, tukiwa pamoja na mwenzangu Mbuzi Sela Masai mwenyewe hapa ndani ya show. Usikose kuungana nasi tena hapo kesho saa na wakati kama wa leo, kuhakikisha kwamba tumekuletea mambo yote paruanja, bila kuficha, bila chochote. Hii ni sauti ya bodaboda, hii ni sauti yako. Atakuwa anaingia hapa Winnie Shisia baada ya muda usiokuwa mrefu kuweza kukuletea kurunzi ya bodaboda radio. Hadi hapo kesho sana wakati kama wa leo, kutoka kwangu, kwa heri kwa sasa.